Welcome back here to the GioMoShow final segment. We go global, talking about the Paris 2024 Olympic Games being held currently over in the nation of France. And why do I love the Olympics so much? Well, it's a broad question, and it's a question I'm asking myself and answering myself. The Olympic Games, to me, is the greatest sporting event in human history. I forget if it's the 34th or 35th Olympiad, but this is, to me, the absolute highest level of any sport. Now, I know that the Super Bowl is a big deal, and I know that the NBA Finals are a big deal, and that the World Cup is a big deal. But the Olympics, to me, maybe not on an audience perspective. I'm not talking about the audience numbers. But in terms of respect, in terms of legacy, and in terms of accomplishment, I believe the Olympics to be the highest level of competition in human history. Because it goes back, its history, to ancient Greece. It is the oldest sporting competition in human history. And a lot of the events, what I love about it so much is that a lot of the events, and now many have been added to it that kind of don't quite qualify for this, but when it comes to events like track and field specifically, but also in swimming and weightlifting and those kind of like pure athletic, pure athletic, not so much of a game competition. Those are some of the oldest competitions in human history. Because think about it, going back to ancient Greece, the competitions were simple. Who can throw the farthest? Who can jump the highest? Who can run the fastest? Who can lift the most? Who can throw an arrow the farthest? You kind of bring your brain back in time like that. And you see it today as like this is a celebration of human ability. And the Paralympics extend to that as well. Of course they do. But to me, that kind of human history aspect of the Olympics is something that you can't find it in any other sport. Because a lot of the other sports are not so much physical achievement as they are games of skill and strategy. And of course, that stuff is involved, but a pure competition of who's the strongest, who's the fastest, who could throw the farthest, who can do this skill the best. I love that about the Olympics. And kind of not only that, but the fact that it's a global stage. The fact that it's not just like who's the best in this specific league or like in the NFL, in this specific private institution, in this business. Who's the best in this business? This is who is the best on planet Earth. You guys know this, but I want you to understand this. Who is the best in the world? We're talking about world records being beaten each and every Olympic Games. The greatest athletes that human history has ever seen are on display for like 3 weeks. 3 weeks straight. And I don't say all that kind of ancient Greek stuff to discredit the game events of the Olympics, like volleyball, basketball, rugby, soccer. I'm not saying that to discredit any of those, because those are a different kind of aspect to it. That is, who is the greatest assembly? Who is the greatest team? Who is the greatest machine of performance on planet Earth? I love that stuff just as much. And it's so enthralling to me when the Olympics are on. And kind of going to my personal experience with it, I was a swimmer in high school, and luckily my years of schooling kind of lined up with the Olympics. Going into my freshman year in high school, I've never swam before, but my friends convinced me into doing it. That was the Rio Olympic Games, and that was Michael Phelps. And I got to kind of get a preview as to what I was getting myself into. And it was kind of scary to see kind of what I was getting into and how difficult it is, just visually watching these Olympic swimmers. And I'm like, God, I got to do that? But it was inspiring. Watching that inspired me to kind of hear the history of to what these players have done and dedicated themselves to for 4 years at least. In most cases, their entire lives dedicated to that one moment on the global stage in the greatest sporting event in human history. Seeing that was very inspiring to me going into my swimming career. And it gave me a great appreciation for the sport. And, to kind of have unfortunately, COVID interrupting the Tokyo Olympic Games. I ended up doing it in 2021. That's when I graduated high school. And now this is when I graduate college. It's cool to kind of see the moments in my life where, wow, I was a freshman in high school the last time I saw Michael Phelps win gold. That kind of stuff is cool to me, to kind of see that kind of history, not only with the sport, but with myself. And